Alright, let's go ahead and get going with the first tutorial on maintaining and editing the eLearnit site. Now I do want to mention, if you're watching this video and you have not watched a few of the videos on this WP 101, I strongly recommend you go watch a couple, at least the introduction to WordPress, because I'm going to skip some things that you're going to wonder how I got there. And the reason we have this 101 is to cover some things and some basics that I don't cover. And so real quick, if you haven't, make sure you go in and log in. And I should have included this in the email to you. If I didn't, let me know and I'll shoot it over. But once you log in to WP 101, what you want to do is, if it wants to load up any day now, take me to the videos. And then, let's see, dashboard is where I would start at. And maybe, let's see, that's probably good enough. Dashboard, editing post, and then that should be that. You know, adding new users is a few good ones, and some other stuff that you may want to read later on, but you probably don't need to. But what's really important is this dashboard, because I'm not going to go over some of these things. So make sure you watch that. All right? So let's go ahead and get going. The first thing I want to go over is your banner right here, and this is really easy. We want to go to the back end. We want to find the banner section, which is right here below comments. And we just have two right now, just these two. And to add a new one, what we do is click New Slide. And then I'm going to delete this later, but your title goes here. Some text and stuff goes here. And what we want to do next is over here on the right is set our link. So if we're on this right now, I can click this and it's going to go somewhere. So where do we want to send it to? All right. So somewhere internally, I would think on your site. So if that's consulting or or whatever the case may be, that's where you would go. All right. So let's see, what do we got? HTTP. This one will work. So I set a link for it. Make sure it's the HTTP is included in that, not just www, or it's not going to work. Next thing we want to do is our featured image, and the featured image is the main image that fits here. The system will actually auto-size it, auto-crop it. So if your picture, for instance, that you've downloaded is bigger than this, don't worry, it's going to size it in there. And of course, you don't want to try to upload one that's smaller. And as well, the layout is what we call landscape, meaning it's a horizontal as opposed to vertical. So if you find a large vertical picture and you try to upload it, it's going to crop it and look weird and off, and you're going to wonder why it looks like it is. Because the system basically crops an X to Y axis, meaning it kind of comes from bottom right to top left as it crops it in. Okay, so let's go ahead and click the Set Featured Image button, grab an image, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse my computer. Oops. And then another thing too I forgot to mention is try to make sure your pictures aren't too ginormous. I wouldn't upload anything bigger than, wider than 1400 pixels. The larger the image is, the longer it takes to load, the more strain on the server, and that kind of a thing. So I would be mindful of that when selecting and finding your pictures. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Not big enough. Alright, this will work. Open. Alright, let's go ahead and hit upload. There's our picture, and we'll see all information, the size of it, description, etc., etc. And what we want to do is come down here and choose Use as a Featured Image. Okay, once that's all set, let's go ahead and X out. We can see it worked because here's our image. Let's go ahead and publish this so we can see it live on the site. Come to the front end, refresh. Here's our new picture. We'll see the title and then the text that I put in here. And it'll automatically add this button for you, as well as automatically scroll to the next one when clicked. Okay, let me show you one thing. You might be wondering, hey, how do I order it? Maybe I don't want the new one to be first. And we can actually set the order of it. Basically, WordPress works with a database, obviously, but it's time-stamped or alpha-stamped, meaning it either orders by most recent to oldest or by alphabetical. So what we can do is to change the order of it is set the date. So right now, it's set to be the most recent will show up first, and then, the next one, then next. So if let's say you want her to be last, all you gotta do is change the date, make it older than the ones you've already published before. So if I come back here and put March, update it, refresh this, she should not be first, which she's not. Okay, she actually will be last. Alright, pretty easy, yes? Alright, that's going to do it for the video on the banner.